Your 9 to 5 isn't safe, it never was, but here's what nobody's telling you. The jobs that you think are creative, the ones that you ran to because you thought AI couldn't touch them, those are the ones that are getting automated first. Graphic designers, marketers, copywriters, video editors. And if that pisses you off, you're watching the right video. Because by the end of this, you'll understand why being angry at AI is like being angry at the internet in 1998. You're not too late, but you are about to be. If we've not met before, my name's Michael Elliott. 4-something years ago, I was you. Paycheck to paycheck, scrolling at 2 a.m, telling myself, Monday I'll figure it out. I worked my ass off making someone else rich while I stayed broke, struggling to make ends meet. And then I realized something that changed everything. My boss wasn't smarter than me. He just owned the system. So I stopped being the worker and I became the architect. I scaled a PPC agency from my bedroom. No employees, no office, no excuses. And now I'm going to show you the exact shift that separates people who survive the AI age from the people who get left behind. But I do need to warn you up front, this isn't going to be a comfortable video. And the reason for that is because the version of you watching this right now, that version doesn't make it. Let's go. Let's start with the 9 to 5 lie, okay? Here's the truth that they don't want you to hear. Your job was never designed to make you free. It was designed to make you predictable. Show up, do the work, get paid. Just enough to come back tomorrow. That system worked when companies needed human labor to function. But here's what's changed. AI doesn't need health insurance. AI doesn't take vacation. AI doesn't ask for raises. And the jobs getting replaced first, the ones that follow those patterns. So, do you know what's hilarious? Everybody thinks that factory workers are in danger because they see the robots, right? But graphic designers, marketers, content writers are getting replaced even faster than that because their work is more predictable than physical labor. A plumber has to navigate chaos, leaking pipes, weird angles, annoyed owners like homeowners. A graphic designer, they're following brand guidelines and templates. AI eats templates for breakfast. So if you're sitting there thinking I'm safe because I'm creative, you're not. You're in more danger than the guy that fixes your bathroom. Be honest with yourself right now. How much of your job is actually creative? And how much of it is just filling in someone else's framework? Because that's the part AI is coming for. And here's what gets worse. Most people think the solution is to adapt or upskill. Wrong. The solution is to stop being a worker entirely. Let me show you why. Workers get replaced, architects get paid. When I was working paycheck to paycheck, I thought my problem was that I didn't have enough skills. So I learned more. I got certifications, I stayed late, I grafted, I mastered my art and mastered my craft. And do you know what happened? I just became a more valuable employee. Which means I made my boss richer while I stayed broke. The moment everything changed was when I stopped asking, how do I become better at my job? And started asking, how do I become the person who owns the job? That's when I realized entrepreneurs don't get replaced by AI. They use AI to replace entire teams. Here's what I did. I took the same skills that I was using to make someone else money, and I used AI to 10x my output. AI wrote my ad copy. AI managed my data analysis. AI handled my client research. AI optimized my strategy based off of their individual industry. I went from being one person to having the leverage of a 10-person agency just using AI. And I did it from my bedroom. No venture capital, no fancy degree, no 10 years of experience in AI generation. Who has that? Just me, a laptop, the willingness to stop being a worker. Now, here's the part that nobody talks about. It was lonely as hell. The sleepless nights, the weeks where nothing worked, the people who laughed at me. Entrepreneurship isn't a highlight reel. It's a grind that most people quit before they ever see the results. But do you know what's lonelier? Working 40 years for somebody else and wondering, what if I had just tried? So, here's the question. Are you going to keep being the worker, or are you finally going to become the architect? Because the window is closing fast. The AI gold rush is happening right now, but for most people it's fool's gold. Let me be blunt. This is the biggest wealth transfer in human history, and it's happening in two directions. Workers automated out, architects scaling faster than ever before. The people who understand this are quietly building empires with AI leverage. The people who don't, they're scrolling TikTok wondering why their life feels harder. Right? Everything feels more difficult. Here's what most people get wrong. They think AI is a threat. Businesses do it all the time when I speak to them. They think AI is a threat. AI is your savior. If you stop trying to compete with it and start using it to compete with everybody else, then your whole scope of your life and businesses will change. Right now, you can launch a business in 48 hours. You can build a product without code. You can scale content without a team. You can analyze data without a degree. The barrier to entry has never been lower than it is today. The barrier to excuses is zero. And here's the kicker. You don't need to be tech savvy either. You just need to understand how AI works. You just need to understand how to use it as leverage. I didn't know how to code. I didn't know how to run an AI agency. When I was born, I didn't know how to walk, but I can walk now, I knew how to ask the right questions and let AI do the heavy lifting. That's it. That's the skill. So let me ask you, what's stopping you? Is it fear? Imposter syndrome? The belief that people like me don't do this? Because that's the only thing standing between you and financial freedom. Not AI, not the economy, not your background, you. And if you're still not convinced, let me show you what happens if you don't act. The cost of waiting is a very heavy price to pay, and here's what I wish someone told me 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Every month you wait, the gap gets wider. Not because the opportunity disappears, but because everyone else is moving. While you're thinking about it, someone else is building. It's like going to the gym. You think, I'm going to get fit. Like right now, people are probably watching this thinking, in the new year, I'm going to get myself in shape. And then New Year comes around and nobody does it. It's exactly the same thing. While you're researching, someone else is launching. While you're scrolling, someone else is scaling. And in 12 months, you're going to look back and think, I should have started this when I first saw it. I made that mistake. I spent a few years preparing to be an entrepreneur, if you like, reading books, watching videos, planning. And you know what happened? Nothing. Because I was afraid to be bad at it. I was afraid to fail. Afraid to look stupid. Afraid people would judge me. But the moment I said, screw it, and just started, everything changed in my life. Not because I was ready, but because I finally stopped waiting to be ready. You're never going to feel ready, ever. The only difference between you and the person making 50K a month with AI is that they started before they felt ready. So here's where we are. You now understand that AI isn't your enemy. It's your unfair advantage. You now understand that workers get replaced, but architects get paid. You now understand that the biggest risk isn't failure, it's waiting. You're not a worker anymore, you're an architect in training. And if you're ready to build your first AI-powered income stream, I'm breaking down the exact tools, strategies, and steps in my videos and my past videos consistently. No fluff, no theory, just the blueprint that I'd follow if I had to start from zero today. But before you go, comment below and tell me this. Are you preparing for the AI shift, or are you still reacting to it? Be honest. I read every single one, and I want to read them. Let's build your future.